Hello friends and enemies, come with me on day 1 of my trip to Croatia. Most of my morning was spent trying not to freak out because this trip was the start of a 6-week trip around Europe and I wasn't sure if I had packed everything I needed. But at some point I was like, it is what it is. I said goodbye to my sister and our other sister's dog and headed off to JFK with my parents. Since the drop-off area was super crowded, I couldn't give a proper goodbye to my parents, which kind of increased my anxiety because this is the longest I've ever been away from home travel-wise. I was gonna be in Croatia for about 2 weeks with EF Ultimate Break on their Cruise Croatia trip and then Paris in August to watch the Olympics, but beyond that I had no plans in between. After our flight had a fantastic start with a 1-hour delay, we were finally up in the air and on our way to Amsterdam. Even with the delay, we somehow managed to get there on time at 7 a.m. the next day. Even though I had a 2-hour layover, I went straight to my gate because I wanted to calm my nerves, which was fine because I ended up having to check in my Baboon to the Moon go bag small since there was not enough space in the overhead bins. I usually don't mind having to check in my carry-on at the gate because they usually do it for free. And if they lose my luggage, that usually just means I get to go shopping in my destination, which I was gonna do anyway. After securing both my bags at the carousel, I headed over across the street to take the public bus into town. I texted my mom a picture of it raining outside and she was like, "God is raining blessings on you." And I don't know if it was like the jet lag or me being tired, but for some reason that made me cry and go like, wow, my mom really is just a girl like me. After what felt like the longest 10-minute walk from the bus station to the hotel, I finally made it and I got to check into my room. Another girl on my Cruise Croatia trip was coming in a day early, so we decided to share a room for that first night. And even though it wasn't that close to the Split city center, it was still a pretty good hotel. After showering and getting ready, I headed down back to the lobby because I saw that the hotel offered free shuttles into Old Town every night. And since I was meeting up with a friend for dinner later on that day, I was like, why not just go in early and explore a bit? Even though it was raining like an hour ago, it was so nice and sunny and warm. So of course, I couldn't help myself but get some gelato at this gelato place recommended by our tour director. Afterwards, I kind of just let myself get lost and walk in circles around Old Town, mostly to kill some time and also not to ruin my appetite before dinner. I ended up back at Diocletian's Palace at a really good time because there ended up being this traditional folk dance performance. 1, it was great because your girl loves a dance, and 2, I got to sit down and kill some time before my friend finally arrived from Split and we could go to dinner together. I met Ryan back in 2022 when we both took our first EF trip to Italy, France, and Spain together, and I convinced him and his other friend to join me in Croatia on my coordinated group. After dinner, we met up with his friend Marcus, who also had just arrived in Split. We got some drinks, Marcus got food, and I took them over to the same gelato place I went to earlier that day. Afterwards, we met up with Abby, who was my roommate for the night. Then the guys walked back to their hostel, and Abby and I took a bolt back to our hotel. Like and comment for day 2.